Have you ever been sound asleep, only to suddenly wake up because your calf tightens into a painful knot? You try to move your leg, but for a few seconds, it feels like the muscle simply won't let go. If this happens to you, you're not alone. Nighttime leg cramps become more common with age, and they can make you nervous about going to bed because you never know when the next painful cramp will strike. But here's something important: you don't have to simply accept painful nighttime cramps as a normal part of getting older. There are simple habits you can try before bed that may help reduce your chances of experiencing them, and tonight, we're going to focus on one of the easiest places to start: what you do in the few minutes before you go to sleep. We'll also talk about some everyday foods and habits that may work against healthy aging, and what you can choose instead, so stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll have a simple bedtime routine you can try tonight. First, let's understand what's actually happening. A leg cramp is a sudden, involuntary tightening of a muscle. It often affects the calf, foot, or thigh, and it can last anywhere from a few seconds to several minutes. For many older adults, these cramps happen during the night or while resting, and when they happen, the instinct is usually to panic and pull the leg in every direction. Instead, the goal is to stay calm and gently encourage the muscle to relax. Before getting into bed, spend about 20 to 30 seconds gently stretching each calf. One simple option is to stand facing a wall. Place both hands against the wall, step one leg slightly behind you, keep the back heel down, and gently bend the front knee. You should feel a mild stretch through the calf of the back leg. Don't bounce, don't force the stretch, and you shouldn't feel sharp pain. Simply hold the gentle stretch, breathe normally, and then switch sides. This takes less than a minute, but it can be a useful part of a relaxing bedtime routine. Next, sit on the edge of your bed or in a sturdy chair. Slowly point your toes forward, then gently pull your toes back toward you. Repeat this movement several times. Then make a few slow circles with each ankle. Think of this as gently waking up the muscles and joints before you settle down for the night. If you spend much of the day sitting, these small movements can also help break up long periods of inactivity. Now let's talk about something many people overlook: fluids. Being dehydrated can contribute to muscle problems. Although nighttime cramps can have many different causes and hydration alone isn't a guaranteed solution, older adults may also be less aware of thirst, so regular fluid intake throughout the day can be important. But don't make the mistake of drinking a huge amount of water right before bed. That could simply mean more trips to the bathroom during the night. Instead, aim to stay adequately hydrated throughout the day, unless your doctor has told you to restrict fluids because of a medical condition. And this brings us to an important part of healthy aging. Your daily diet matters far beyond your waistline. The foods you regularly eat can influence your overall heart health, blood sugar, blood pressure, muscle health, and energy levels. Some foods are fine occasionally, but when highly processed foods become everyday staples, they can crowd out the nutrient-rich foods your aging body needs. For example, heavily processed snacks, sugary drinks, and foods high in added sodium can make it harder to maintain a balanced diet. So instead of thinking, "What food can magically stop my leg cramps?" think, "What kind of eating pattern gives my body the nutrients it needs to stay strong as I age?" That's a much better question. And there's one group of foods that deserve special attention after 60, protein-rich foods. As we get older, maintaining muscle becomes increasingly important. Muscle isn't just about looking strong. Your leg muscles help you stand up from a chair, climb stairs, maintain balance, and stay independent. That's why protecting muscle should be part of your overall healthy aging strategy. And in the next part, we'll look at practical foods you can add to your meals, common dietary mistakes that may work against your goals, and a simple bedtime routine you can use consistently. Now let's talk about protein, because this is one area where many older adults simply don't get enough. As you age, your body can become less responsive to protein than it was when you were younger. That means spreading good sources of protein throughout the day can be helpful for maintaining muscle. And remember, your legs are doing a tremendous amount of work every day: walking, standing, climbing stairs, getting out of a chair, even maintaining your balance. All of these activities depend on healthy muscles. So what should you actually eat? You don't need expensive powders or complicated diets. Simple foods can work: eggs, fish, chicken, Greek yogurt, cottage cheese, beans, lentils, and tofu are all examples of protein-rich foods. If you eat meat, choose leaner options more often. If you don't eat meat, beans, lentils, dairy products, eggs, or tofu can help provide protein. The goal isn't to eat one enormous protein-heavy meal. Instead, try to include a reasonable source of protein with your meals throughout the day. Now let's talk about the foods that can quietly work against healthy aging. One of the biggest problems isn't necessarily one specific food, it's the pattern. If most of your meals come from packaged, highly processed foods, you may be getting plenty of calories without getting enough of the nutrients your body needs. Think about foods such as sugary breakfast cereals, packaged pastries, chips, candy, sugary drinks, and heavily processed convenience meals. These foods can be easy to overeat and may contain lots of added sugar, sodium, or unhealthy fats while providing relatively little nutritional value. That doesn't mean you can never enjoy them. It means they shouldn't crowd out the foods your body needs most. Here's a simple swap. Instead of reaching for a sweet pastry every morning, try plain or lightly sweetened Greek yogurt with berries and a small handful of nuts. Instead of a sugary soft drink, choose water or another unsweetened beverage. Instead of making processed meat a daily habit, choose fish, chicken, beans, or lentils more often. And instead of a bag of chips as your regular afternoon snack, try fruit with yogurt, a handful of unsalted nuts, or another nutrient-dense option that fits your dietary needs. These aren't dramatic changes, but small improvements repeated every day can add up. Now, you may have heard that nighttime leg cramps are always caused by a lack of minerals like potassium or magnesium. That's a popular claim online, but it's not that simple. Leg cramps can have many possible causes, and taking a mineral supplement isn't automatically the answer. In some cases, certain medications or medical conditions can contribute to cramping. And taking supplements unnecessarily can sometimes cause problems, so before starting magnesium, potassium, calcium, or other supplements specifically for leg cramps, talk with your healthcare professional, especially if you take prescription medications or have kidney, heart, or other medical conditions. Food should generally come first unless your healthcare professional recommends otherwise. Now let's put everything together. About 5 minutes before bed, give your legs some attention. Start with a gentle calf stretch, then move your ankles slowly. Take a few comfortable steps around the room if you're able to do so safely. Then settle into bed and allow your muscles to relax. You don't need an intense workout. You don't need to aggressively massage your legs, and you definitely don't need to push through pain. The goal is simply to create a calm, consistent routine. But there's one part of this conversation we cannot ignore. If your leg cramps are frequent, severe, getting worse, or consistently disturbing your sleep, talk with your healthcare professional. You should also seek medical advice if cramps occur along with significant swelling, weakness, numbness, skin changes, or other unusual symptoms. And if you suddenly develop one-sided leg swelling or pain, especially with warmth or redness, don't assume it's just a cramp. That needs prompt medical attention. Your doctor can review your symptoms, medications, health conditions, hydration, and other possible causes. Getting older doesn't mean you have to stop caring about your strength, mobility, or quality of sleep. In fact, these things become even more important. A few gentle movements before bed, better hydration habits during the day, more nutritious foods, enough protein, and less reliance on highly processed foods. None of these is a magic cure, but together, they can become part of a healthier routine that supports your body as you age. So tonight, don't wait until a painful cramp wakes you up. Give your calves a gentle stretch, move your ankles, take a moment to relax, and tomorrow, take another look at what you're putting on your plate. Because healthy aging isn't about doing everything perfectly, it's about making small, sensible choices consistently.